It is week 11 and we're one step closer to playoffs, and we have another edition of the Panic Meter because boy, we are so close and I am panicked. We'll open it up with Bo Nix. I've got a couple of quarterbacks on here, but man, it feels like Bo Nix is kind of a fancy Justin Fields at this point. I'm not saying that he is the same level skill as far as the fantasy production that he's given us so far. I get the upside, but that floor is incredibly low. You could say that a lot of it is his receiving around him, but I feel like Troy Franklin has stepped up. Cortland Sutton has proven that he can be a reliable target, and I'm unsure if Evan Ingram is even alive at this point, let alone a viable target, but I do think he has more than nothing. And that is a point that I want to make, that as far as Dynasty goes, I'm not ready to panic sell or anything, because I do think they could get a true alpha wide receiver and then everyone else can fall in line as high-end 2s and 3s. But it's not great, and if you're trying to get in the playoffs, putting him in your lineup week in and week out is certainly a concern. I think that you might have to keep him because of that upside, but again, you're not the type of manager that can just keep him in your one spot then stream if and when you have a bye week. You need to get someone else, and you need to make sure they're a little bit more reliable, or you're just playing Bo Nix every week and hoping that it's one of the boom days where he throws for 4 touchdowns and not some of the duds that we've gotten where he's barely even getting you 8 points. My panic meter, 7 out of 10. Next, as promised, I have another quarterback. It's Jordan Love. My panic meter is 10 out of 10, and I think he is droppable. The entire Packers game just looks off. I don't know how banged up that receiving core actually is. We've already seen Matthew Golden go down and miss a week. Tucker Kraft is out for the season. Romeo Doubs just got hurt this past week, but I don't believe that's anything serious. Still, I don't think he's going to be a high-end player, a little differently than Bo Nix, because again, I see the upside with Bo Nix. It's hard for me to see that for Jordan Love, and the entire offense is just running through Josh Jacobs as it rightfully should. I'm not sure if Jordan Love is someone I want in my lineups outside of Superflex, so I'd rather drop him. Maybe someone else picks him up and your trash can become their trash, because I don't see a lot of treasure there. And I have one more quarterback for you, and then we'll switch positions. But before we go any further, if you like content like this, let us know by hitting that like and subscribe button. And if you want to get all of our tools and subscriptions behind that paywall, use the code on the screen, YouTube15 at checkout, and that gives you 15% off everything. And we'll jump back into it as promised. One more quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, 11 out of 10. And here's my reason why. I definitely understand that he does have a ceiling for some people, but I'm worried about the floor. Travis Hunter is going to be out. They did get Jacoby Myers. Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't quite been healthy. It's just not great for this team. My panic meter being so high because I'm curious as to what he's going to be in the future for Dynasty. Now, I know there's a lot of money tied up in Trevor Lawrence, but if there's someone that's on the board that they like better in that draft, let's say that Lenore Sellers or some of these other guys come in and push some talent down, I'm a little bit worried about his future. He's just not the franchise quarterback that we thought he was going to be. He's not even the franchise quarterback that we hoped he might be, even when we thought he wasn't what he could be. He's worse than that. I'm worried that he's even a starting quarterback at this point, and I just don't want to roster him again. And I apologize to anyone who I said should be in on the Jags, because they were fool's gold, certainly. Now we're going to switch over to running back Rhamondre Stevenson. How can you get fired on your day off? Well, he makes the poo-poo list because TreVeyon Henderson did exactly what we thought he would do. It just took that coaching staff to allow the rest of the running backs to go down with injury before we got to see it. He looked explosive. He looked like the smart and fast runner that we thought he would be. He even did, again, some big brain stuff by asking permission to score rather than just going down and keeping the clock running to keep the ball out of the other team's hands. That's stuff that you love to see as a coaching staff, and I don't think they can put this back in the bottle. The toothpaste has already been out of the tube, and I'm wondering if Rhamondre Stevenson finds himself relegated to maybe that Nick Chubb 6 carries a game and you're hoping that he gets something into the goal line. Now, I do know the Patriots love running 2 backs, so I don't think it's all the way over to where he's going to ride the bench the whole time, but I don't expect any of the upside that we had before because there wasn't a whole lot to begin with. Between the fumbles and Drake May's been getting it done in the passing game where they don't need to rely on the rushing as we've seen in the past. So Rhamondre Stevenson seems like if you didn't get him off your roster at this point, it is was way too late, and now he finds himself in roster clogger territory. Unless you have shallow bench, then I would just try to find someone else, because I just, again, don't see the upside. Now we'll move over to wide receiver. DJ Moore might be droppable. It's ugly. I don't expect him to be on the Bears next season. Olamide Zaccheaus goes down. Does that mean that DJ Moore gets more targets? No, it means that Luther Burden is the next man up. We know that Rome Odunze is going to be the top target. Now we've seen Colston Loveland step up. He might be the second option there. And we know that Ben Johnson loves to scheme up things for these running backs. And DeAndre Swift has proven that he deserves some touches. So where does that leave DJ Moore? It means it leaves him on the waiver wires and off my roster, because my panic meter is at a 10 out of 10. If he couldn't get it done in these last couple of games, I don't know when he can. Now for another wide receiver, AJ Brown. Another one where I'm asking myself, how droppable is he? He is the second wide receiver, and Devontae Smith seems to be the starter. If anything, it's even worse than that, where the passing game runs through Dallas Goedert. We're hoping for big plays from Devontae Smith, and then everything else is just gravy, because we're not getting the same upside that we've gotten from Saquon Barkley either. It's ugly. It seems like AJ Brown is checked out. He and Jalen Hurts are not on the same page. I'm just ready for an Instagram post where he says that he's out. It's ugly. I'm worried. And he's 28 years old. My worry even goes beyond into dynasty, because I just don't know where he's going to be. He could have a Calvin Ridley situation to where if he goes to somewhere like the Tennessee Titans and they haven't figured out whatever's going on there, it's going to be just as ugly, if not worse. It's not great from one of our favorite fantasy darlings, and I kind of want out at this point. That'll do it for me this week, folks. My name's Jagger May. I love you guys. And remember, if you want more content like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and you can use the code YouTube15 for 15% off all of our tools and subscriptions. I'll see you next time.